En el fascinante mundo del bienestar y la salud, llega un verdadero líder, un maestro del cuerpo y la mente. Julian Diasa, con más de 15 años de experiencia como profesional del fitness, experto en antienvejecimiento, movimiento, nutrición funcional y escultura corporal. Su misión es clara: ayudar a las mujeres a ralentizar el envejecimiento, perder peso, amar sus cuerpos y sentirse seguras en su piel. Prepárate para descubrir un viaje de transformación como ningún otro. Bienvenido, Julian Diasa.
Julian Diasa, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I'd like to begin with this concept that I found on your social media, which is how to play the replacement game. In other words, if you're not where you want to be, you have to start replacing many things that in your life, like if you maybe replace Netflix with, something that's productivity. And I began there because obviously there was another post that I saw. You said, I went from being a very shy, introverted kid to now being the man that I always dreamed of being. So you had to replace a lot of things to get here.
Many things.
Let's talk about that. I think it's important what we choose to do and what to replace, from habits to values.
You know what happened is that I think that we're convinced that we have limits. And I think we don't. It's just like, it's our mindset, like what we were talking before. When you realize that you are powerful beyond anything that you can imagine, and you start believing in that, you know where you're at the moment, and you realize where you have to go. In order for you to go somewhere, you need to stop doing things that you know are not conducive to that. Waking up late, being procrastinated, eating the things that you know are not conducive to your goals, cutting relationships that you know are not good for you. So when you start realizing those things and cutting things that are going to be beneficial for you long term, because this is another thing, we want instant results, and that doesn't happen. Everything in life that is worth it takes time. So you have to incorporate a mindset that allow you to say, okay, I want to sacrifice this, and this thing now for me to achieve my long-term goal. When I post those things that I was a shy, insecure, even awkward kid, I remember I would have never been able to talk in front of a camera because I was so shy that when I have to talk to a woman, I could not look at her in the eyes. And I had to study, and I had to let go of a lot of insecurities, a lot of traumas. We all have our own stuff. But you need to work on that to become the person that you want to become. You gotta have goals, you gotta look forward, and you gotta work every single day. My goal is for your audience to understand that every single day is an opportunity for you to become 1% better. Not 20% better. If you even 0.5% better every day in any aspect of your life, you're winning.
Thank you for that. I think that was a very, very well preamble to begin. Let's talk about food. It's been said that we are what we eat.
Yes.
And so before you got into being very conscious about and intentional about what you eat, tell us how that changed your life in picking what to eat and how you went about removing or replacing a habit. Because obviously I can tell you, I go out there, I'm always gravitating toward the things that I like, and there's always a sacrifice making the right choice. How did you build a story in your mind to make you strong enough to choose the right food versus the one that you maybe grew up with?
You say something that is very funny. It's not only you. We human beings, we gravitate towards pleasure and away from pain. Yeah. So it's not only you or me, it's like everybody.
It's human nature.
Human nature. So I have never been a overweight person or a fat person or anything. It's just that my integrity as a human being do not allow me to do certain things that I know they're not convenient for me. Everything starts from a self-love perspective. Because I say, if I love myself enough, I know these things are not convenient for me, therefore I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't have to be food. Drinks, people, activities, everything that you know is not convenient for you. We know what's up. We know what's up. So when we talk about food, I was telling you before we started recording, there's a lot of misunderstanding about foods. There's a lot of misunderstanding about diet and nutrition, because nowadays, I have nothing against anybody, but anybody that have a nice booty and is young and look good, they think they have the authority to talk. But in reality, they don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the education. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that follow these influencers and they swear by them. Not criticizing, but there's a lot of misinformation from everywhere. Oh, coffee is good for you today. Oh, no, coffee is gonna kill you. Wine is good for the for your heart. Oh, no,
So
wine
confusing,
is,
brother.
And it's like people don't know
Meets
where
bit,
to go.
yeah.
Where to go.
That's true.
So that's why it's so important, and this is why I do in my company. I don't do guesswork. Most of the coaches, whether in person and or online, they're doing guesswork. In my company, we dedicate a lot of resources to make sure that I test you, and those results tell me exactly a blueprint of what you need to eat, how much you need to eat, how much you need to move.
You take some blood.
I do blood, I do exercises, assessments, I do all type of things. I record about 10,000 data points. Okay. With those data points, then I work, because otherwise I'll be guessing. I'll give you an example before you jump in. I was under the impression that almonds, because if I ask you, almonds are healthy?
Oh yeah, I would say
Absolutely.
yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Egg white,
And they are.
egg whites omelets.
And they are. But for me, in my specific case, a handful of almonds is the equivalent of me having a Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. My blood sugar goes through the roof. So if I tell you, hey, you know what, I'm going to give you a diet, you're going to eat chicken breast, broccoli, asparagus, this and that, without testing you, I might be doing you a disservice, because I don't know how those foods are reacting on you. Guys, food is not food. Food is information that is going to do biological things inside of you.
Wow, that's very interesting, because it opened up a whole new can of worms for me in this conversation, because now it's as you were saying, look, I go about my life being intentional about what I eat. My integrity as a human person will not let me touch things that I know is bad for me. But you know that with more clarity because you've done that assessment on yourself.
Correct.
For a regular guy like me who's going out there, it's lunchtime, I'm gonna go out there. Now, I don't know what that, something that by the general knowledge or just general knowledge out there, that omelets are good for me because they're high in
protein. Yes.
I'm thinking that may be good for me. Now, I don't know. I've not done a personal assessment. So, but I mean, even if people don't do that, because, you know, we're looking at 8 billion people out there that every day have to
That's a lot of people,
That's a lot of assessments. Just general things in the mindset of, let's say, you're saying what you eat is so critical to success. And it's probably just more than the food, because you develop a new discipline,
correct,
right? Of being strong to say, okay, well, I know alcohol, definitely, no matter how the assessments are probably going to be bad unless I'm wrong. And maybe there's something in there that says alcohol is actually good for you.
They might say that to sell you more alcohol, but in reality it's not. It's a non-toxin.
So there are some things that are, no matter who you are are going to be bad, and something that will be good. And so when you first came in, I said, well, we'll talk about mindset. You're like, man, that's going to be big. It's all about the mindset. And I started with the food because obviously it's, we put stuff in our mouth every day, eat every day. And I know that affects how we feel, physical appearance, emotions, all that stuff. But, you know, going to the next piece, unless you want to add something else to that, is the emotional intelligence. You know, you definitely were operating differently when you were that shy, little boy. That you had to learn how to manage that emotions differently today to being who you say is the version of yourself you always wanted to see, and went from somebody who couldn't look at somebody in the eyes, and now you're obviously the opposite. What changed in you emotionally to get that level of confidence?
You know, I've always been an athlete. For you guys that don't know me, I play many sports: baseball, volleyball, basketball. Everything that was free, I was on it. My mom was, and she still is, a very smart human being, And she identified when she divorced my dad that I was suffering and I was not adapting well. So she put me in every sport possible for me to channel that frustration or anguish or whatever it was, and that plays a good role. That was a segue for me to get into the fitness arena. When I was 14 years of age, I was super skinny, super insecure, and I saw a movie that changed my life. Arnold Schwarzenegger was, I don't remember the name of the movie really, but I saw this muscular guy with a beautiful body driving a 911 Porsche Carrera. I was like, I want that. I want that. I associate muscles with success and a life that I ambition. So I start working out immediately. The owner of the gym took me under his wing, and by the time I was 16, I was a different person. But I attribute that change to the discipline that I have to put in the fitness arena, in the nutritional arena, and the people that I surround myself with. So it's not only pure mindset, it's who you surround yourself with, what are your thoughts in a daily basis that is very conducive because the people that you hang out with, they talk to you. They are your mentors. They are your circle. So if you're only talking about gossips and talking about nonsense, that's what your brain is going to be impregnated of. You know? My life changed because of the surroundings and a decision that I make that I didn't want to be the way I wanted, the way I was. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being shy, but when I saw that guy in the TV, I knew that I had to do something different to become that person. So I started working out. I started hanging out with different people that I knew were successful already in the fitness arena. Wow. And then I was a child. I knew this by instincts. It's not like I thought about it, but by virtue of proximity, I became better. And then when I started feeling the way I felt, I identified that I wanted to give this gift to people. I don't sell fitness. I don't sell weight loss. I sell transformation because I transform myself from being super insecure, super shy, super awkward, to be somebody that can be with the president of the United States talking, and I do not care what it is. I'm very confident, borderline cocky for some people, but it is what it is. So it's a combination of factors.
You know what's funny? Because when you said, I was looking at Arnold driving around, a sports car.
911.
You have no idea, like after all these interviews that I'm doing with successful people like you, there's a common denominator, a common thread. They were inspired by somebody. That was this little spark that ignited this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because you're following that image. That was the inspiration moment for you.
Yeah.
That now you run through walls to make sure that you get that. And that's what you're living.
And
that's
not even that like by thinking, I have a very strong mind. By thinking and attracting, things came to my life that I was not even expecting. People that inspire me even further, that elevate my levels, that make me challenge myself.
Because you took action in
Yeah.
pursuit of that vision.
Yes.
And then those actions brought about all these other experiences you couldn't even visualize.
Yes.
That's why I always say, the activity will not only give you the knowledge you need, but also bring the people. Once you move, a lot of things and resources will come to you to help you materialize that. That's what I think is the universe moving in your favor once you take the action to do it.
That's what I tell people. Like, people want to have everything perfect to start.
Yeah.
They're like, just go. You want to lose weight? Just start walking. It's for free. Start walking twice a day after you eat. That's great. After that, you implement more stuff. But if you say, oh, you know what, I'm going to wait for next year because I have my budget for me to hire a personal trainer, there's millions of videos. There's a lot of information there. You just need to start moving. And loving yourself a little bit, because in 15 years plus that I have as a professional, I have never sit down with somebody that tell me, you know what, I want to feel bad today. Nobody want to feel bad. But yet, you don't do anything to feel better. So you need to start from a place of self-love first and understand, listen, and I always say this to everybody, You are a special edition human being. There's not gonna be anybody like you ever in the universe. By virtue of that, you should appreciate yourself more. Because we're convinced that we need money, that we need fame, that we need status. We don't need anything. We're perfect the way we are. We can improve, yes, but we're perfect the way we are because the universe brings us here for a reason.
Okay. Well, let's keep diving into that mindset because it's really what it is. If you can recall some of the old ways of thinking that were keeping you sort of from where you are right now. We already spoke about inspiration. We saw that image, that car, that muscle guy that brought about all this. But what things that are you conscious today that you can reflect back on and said, well, I used to think that, and now I think this, that are bringing a new reality to you?
I used to think, yeah, very good question. I used to think that I needed to have a lot of money to be successful. I was convinced that I need to be a millionaire in order for me to attract the women that I want, buy the cars that I wanted, and feel good about it. But it happens to be that I have been around good friends that have all the money in the planet. And they have their own stuff too. They're insecure. They feel like people are close to them because of the money. And then they resolve one problem and they have 20 more. You know, because they haven't worked on their self, on them. They haven't do the work. So that was one of the most powerful limiting beliefs that I had, because I came from a very humble beginning. So, you know, I can tell you a story about how and why I'm obsessed with shoes. I have like 150 pairs of sneakers because when I was a kid, I have one pair of Reebok Classic that it was for basketball, for volleyball, for everything, and they were beat up. And when I went to my graduation, my sister's 6th grade graduation, I was so embarrassed to go inside the church that I stay outside. And my mom felt super bad. And she brought me a pair of Adidas. Dude, when I put those shoes on, I felt like I was walking in the air. After that, Adidas is my perfect brand, and I buy shoes left to right. Those insecurities, I have to identify them and say, you know what? You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to have money. You only need to love yourself first and attract the people to your life that are going to be conducive to give you the tools and help you to go where you need to go. Limiting beliefs are powerful because if you don't think that you can do something, it doesn't matter what you have as a talent, you won't be able to do it. For sure.
Thank you. That's a good message. Obviously, you have a lot of engagement on social. That's because you're creating a great impact to people. You just can't have that sort of an engagement. And so I'm curious, obviously, that some of the insecurities that you talked about, you have to overcome to create the content on social. Meaning, you know what I mean? I want to inspire some people that are still on the sideline thinking whether or not the power of social media and the value they can bring to the world, if they should put it out there like you put out your stuff. Just walk us through how you overcame and you made the decision to put yourself online and how dedicated and are you, like intentionally and strategic about growing your brand, your business, and impacting more people through the power of social media.
You know, I don't when I do things, I don't think about growing my business or growing anything. I just think I just think about helping people, because you know, through my career I realized I used to be a model, for example. I did a lot of wrong ways here and everywhere, and it was crazy for me that I realized the most beautiful women in the planet, they're super insecure. I was like, how come? Oh my God, do I look fat? Oh my God. And backstage, having those interactions with those ladies make me believe like you're perfect. What are you thinking? If these ladies are insecure, what happened with the rest of the world? So it's a mindset thing. And then when I do something in my social media, or I just see somebody, I feel that to say something, I do it because it's not like I want to be inspiration for anybody or anything, but I feel like I need to give somebody an option to change, you know? Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to somebody somewhere that might have the issues that I had before, and they just need a little push. You know, when you're doing ways that sometimes you get stuck,
Yeah.
and you have somebody that it's like a little push, and then you push the way up. That's what I feel like. Somebody somehow, somewhere need that little push to take action. That if they don't, probably, if I don't say what I have to say from my heart, they probably won't do it. And the reality is that for us to be happier and for me at least, to feel like I'm achieving something, I need to help. I need to be of service. I want to make sure that people thrive. I don't like to see people sad, depressed, with anguish. If I can help somebody, I will. It comes from my heart. I don't think about what can I do to engage my social media more. I should, but I don't. I do it from my heart because I think that the universe gives you everything that you put out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To wrapping up, I have couple more things that I want to pick your brain with. Is just like food, obviously, one of the things you've been really vocal about right now is that who you hang out with. I'm sure everybody's heard that your current outcome is the result of the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah.
Do you have a process like when you let people into your circle as you go about meeting all these people, especially with what you do? How do you really weed out the people that you don't want in your life? How do you bring about those people you do want in your life?
The first thing you have to have is standards, period. You need to have your standards. You need to know who you are and what you want from life and what you're willing to tolerate. Because if you don't have boundaries and standards, then you allow anybody, is a buffet. Anybody can come and eat, right? Identifying who you are as a person, your standards, your boundaries, your person is going to allow you to say, you know what? I love you from far. I know based on your behaviors, your characteristic, that you are not a good match for me. There's no problem of being friends from far. We can hang out, whatever, but you're not going to be in my circle. Because in my circle, I just allow X type of people. And this is not being, not excluding people.
Arrogant.
No.
Right.
Because we associate being humble with allowing stuff.
Yeah.
And allowing stuff that are not convenient to
Where
your
do you
life.
put the line,
like
right?
that's dumb. You need to set boundaries in relationships, in business, in friendships, with your family. Listen, if some
That's
family
true.
member cross the line, you gotta cut them loose. They do it once, they do it twice, they do it 3 times. They'll do it forever if you don't put them a stop. And for you to make those clear lines, you need to identify who you are, what are your boundaries, and what is it that you want from life. Because if you don't know to begin with what is it that you want, how to get there, you're not gonna have boundaries. So it's very important for you to set boundaries so you identify the qualities that you're looking for in a friend, in a relationship, in a business partner, and allow those type of people to get in. Otherwise, we're losing a lot of time, a lot of mental real estate, and emotionally, it's a disaster as well.
Yeah. Last one is, I hear that no matter how smart we think we are, we always need to be not just inspired, but a vision get expanded by people that have been to places we still yet to get to. And like you said, every human being doesn't want to be worse tomorrow than they are today. We all go to work to improve our lives.
Yeah.
And with that, what I'm trying to ask is, how do you then, aside from picking who your circle is, who do you inspire to grow? Let's say to grow tomorrow. Who are you modeling right now? Who is your inspiration at this moment that you're aspiring to be like? Not to be them, but that motivates you to be that better version of yourself today.
I have different people that I follow that not in social media that I emulate. I don't imitate people, I emulate, that are good in different aspects. My good friend, Dr. Shino Bay Aguilera. Hi, Shino. An amazing human being. He's like my spiritual top guy. He's my friend. And he was a very instrumental part of my spiritual transformation. Because we, sorry, we came from same backgrounds, from humble beginnings, and he's one of the best anti-aging doctors there is, an amazing human being. He inspired me. Another friend that I have, Mike Tomas, an amazing human being, an amazing business mind. He inspired me because besides being very successful in business, he's very down to earth, very humble. He is always willing to help newer, younger generations to understand the business arena and become better. Another one of my friends, baseball player, Hall of Famer, Pedro Martinez, amazing athlete, and a mindset that guy have. I always want to emulate because he became a Hall of Famer based on his mindset. He didn't have the body, he didn't have the height. He had a mindset of a champion since he was like 17 years of age. And I saw his process, and I work out with him, and he always inspired me, because I say, this guy is crazy. It's unbelievable the amount of pain that he can tolerate. So I want to become better in every aspect of my life. So I have different people that I look, what they do, how they do it, so I can become better. But ultimately, and this is a message that I want to really incorporate into the conversation, you will never get to your goal, because once you reach a threshold, you want to become better, and then you want to become better. So this is never going to end. At the end of the day, like I told you in the beginning,
We have that potential to always reach a new level.
like
Who knows what level
we are unlimited. Like we put limits on our head, but really we don't. We just have to understand that consistency give you a lot of success. My mantra in life is honesty and consistency. When I say honesty, I'm not saying to be honest with anybody, but honest with yourself. Because you can lie to whoever you want, but you can never lie to yourself. And consistency is being consistency with the things that you say you will do, because otherwise you're lying to yourself. You got
Brother,
it.
that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for everything that you shared. I know we could go on, but if you want to follow Julian, make sure we'll put the handle somewhere around where you're watching this video. And don't forget to share this with the people that you love, because they're going to get all these golden nuggets. And, sometimes all it takes is just an inspiration. One little paradigm shift could transform your life forever. One little phrase can change your life forever.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you share and subscribe. And Julian, I can't thank you enough. Let me shake that hand one more time.
Thank you, my man.
Thank you so
very
much for being here.
Bye, guys. Love you. And you know what? Share it, enjoy it. And like I said, just a little push. 1% better every day. That's that. Take care. Love.